Hey everybody, welcome back to the Balanced Vibes podcast. My name is Kirsten and thanks so much for being here. Today I'm going to share with you 3 tips that you can take that are simple and work really well that you can do if you want to change your body in a healthy way and keep it healthy. And first of all, let me tell you what is not healthy. And I think you're gonna know very well what I'm talking about when I'm sharing this with you. In the past, I used to run so much. I used to eat very little. My diet was oatmeal in the morning, spaghetti in the evening, some light tuna, maybe some vegetables, and I was not getting enough food for sure. I was hungry. Ate a really high carbohydrate diet. I know a lot of you have done the exact opposite. So my thing was very low fat, very high carb, but no protein, virtually no protein in there. Running so much, being extremely exhausted, being really tired, no period, insomnia. And this was not healthy. And what I got living this lifestyle was what I thought back then was good, which was being really skinny. And yeah, I really thought this is the right thing. This is how I'm supposed to look like. This is the best thing. And I'm not supposed to gain any weight. I always had a certain number on the scale that I was looking at. And this is what I wanted. But now I know that it wasn't healthy. Of course, first of all, hormonally, definitely not healthy. I did not have my period. I was super constipated all the time. I was super irritable all the time, probably because I was so hungry. So there's so many things going on. And years later, now I have learned that it can be so much easier. It really can be so much easier. And it will be if you are consistent with the 3 steps that I'm going to share with you today. And these tips are going to be super simple. They're not always easy maybe to do, but they're very simple. And if you're consistent with them, you start seeing a really good positive change quickly. Of course, I'm talking to those of you who have already recovered, like most of my recent podcast episodes have been. I've been talking to those of you who have already recovered, who do not have an HA anymore, who do not have an eating disorder anymore, but you're kind of struggling finding that middle place. How can I start eating better? How can I start training in ways that actually make me strong and fit and capable, like feeling empowered and capable and all that, instead of feeling weak and disappointed in yourselves and trying to eat less and less and just feeling honestly really crappy all the time. So before I get to those 3 steps, I want to remind you that there's still a little bit of time to apply for the Rebuild mentorship. And this mentorship is for already recovered women. For those of you who have a working menstrual cycle, it does not have to be 28 days. It does not have to be 30 days. Perfect. There can be a little bit of fluctuations. Yes, you can apply. You can also apply if you're trying to conceive. You can definitely do that as well. Now, who cannot apply are the women who don't have periods right now. And I've been getting applications from women who tell me that I haven't had my period for 4 years or 6 years. This program is not for you. This is not for you. Also, if you have an active eating disorder, definitely not a program for you. And also, I'm not, unfortunately, an eating disorder specialist or expert. So if you have an eating disorder, then also one-on-one coaching is not for you because I'm not an eating disorder expert. You have to find a person who has specialized and knows how to treat a very specific disease. So this is not me. But the Rebuild program, the mentorship, is for women who have recovered, who are not now finding that middle place with food. What happens after you stop undereating? What happens after you eat overeating? After you stop overeating? How to find a middle place? How to eat in ways that truly support your hormones? Let me tell you, ladies, it's a little bit more complicated than just eat a boatload of calories every single day. It doesn't matter what they're made of. It does matter. It really does matter. And this is one of the big modules in the Rebuild program as well. And of course, we cover self-care and confidence because these things are extremely important. And a lot of us struggle with confidence after recovery because we have this new looking body and we don't know exactly what to do about it. And how can we find confidence so that it's not so strongly tied to our physical body, the way it looks? And also we have a little bit of spirituality in there because in my opinion, it's extremely important that we really find that connection with ourselves again, because we lost it at one point and this is where the problem started. So it's really important to have some kind of mindfulness, meditation practice in place. And it doesn't have to look perfect. There's so many ways to do it, but there has to be something. And if you follow me on Instagram, You have seen my little morning routines with my crystals and my candles, and this is how I like to do it, but you can do it differently. But there has to be something, and for me, this is foundational. So we are working on finding some good options for that as well, how you can really start cultivating this better relationship with yourself through spirituality. So that's also another module that we cover in the Rebuild program. So it's going to be such a great fit for those of you who have recovered. If you have been missing a great community, I know you will find it there, because all the women in this program are in the same place with you, and I just can't wait to bring you all together, teach you the best tools that I have, bring on 6 amazing experts who are sharing their knowledge and expertise with you. So I know this program is going to be amazing. We start on October 5th, and you still have a little bit of time to apply for it. So please don't miss it. I really don't want you to miss it, because I know it's going to change your life. So do that as soon as you can. And now let's move on to today's topic. Like I said, I'm going to cover 3 things that help you to really find that, or get to this body that you have always probably wanted. And this body is strong, functional, capable, looks good, feels good, and is not super hard to maintain. Okay, let's get started. The first tip for to achieve these things is sleep. Yes, it's super important. Of course, everybody talks about food and talks about exercise, which are very, very important things, but what about your sleep? And I would say that this is where your health really starts from. Yes, diet is super, super important too. Sleep, exercise is important, but sleep is very, very important, because it's so much easier to keep other things running smoothly when you are sleeping well. Because I believe that you have experienced it too. When your sleep is terrible, your mood is awful, you have more cravings, you're feeling just annoyed all the time, you're feeling super irritable, and there's so many processes in your body that are not happening the way you should, the way they should, if you are not getting enough sleep. So you're just not recovering from whatever you did the day before. And if you never recover, it just adds up. There's going to be more and more and more and more exhaustion building up. And this is going to impact your cortisol levels. This is going to impact your blood sugar levels. By the way, even just one sleepless night can make you insulin resistant for the next day. So think about it, right? So many things happening if you're not getting enough sleep. And how do you start getting enough sleep? I know that many people just tell that I've tried everything and nothing has worked. And I can hear you so well. I've been struggling with sleep, I think, since my early 20s, from around 21 years old. That's 14 years now, and it's been on and off. And of course, things got so much better when I recovered from HA. Absolutely got better. I started sleeping more because I had better energy balance, because I was eating more, because I was resting more, and I was giving myself my body this opportunity to chill and relax, and then my hormones balance out. Because if you're constantly on the go, your body never calms down. The way your body perceives it is that it has to run away from something all the time. It's on high alert all the time. And this high alert function in our bodies is very necessary. It's super, super useful, because of course, everybody talks about this lion chasing you situation all the time. This is where our body's pumping our cortisol, send stress hormones to help us so we can run away from this lion. But then this should not be happening all the time. And now if you are running on a treadmill to burn off a cookie that you ate an hour before, and you think you have to do it for 2 hours, and you do it every single day, this is the situation where you're putting your body into where it thinks that you're continuously running away from that lion. If you never rest, if you never chill, if you never meditate, if you never take any time off, your body is on high alert, and that's why you're having such a hard time sleeping as well. The other thing, of course, is calorie restriction. If you're not getting enough calories, that's also going to elevate your stress hormones, elevate your stress response, and that can also be another contributor. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but a lot of people wake up at night being super, super hungry, and sometimes, not recently, but occasionally it happens to me, and then I'm like, okay, I think I maybe didn't eat enough the day before, and then you wake up hungry. But imagine if this happens all the time. And I've had periods in my life when it happens all the time. And I've heard this from my clients too, that they just go in the kitchen and just can't stop themselves because they're so hungry, and they binge and binge and binge and binge. And of course, there's no, we cannot talk about good quality sleep if this happens every single night. So take care of your sleep. What are the other things that you can do? I really like to use my eye mask. I don't sleep at night without it. So eye mask. I also use earplugs. So do what you can to create this really good environment for your sleep. Also start preparing for your sleep. Don't go to bed like straight from your computer. Something, of course, it's hard to do because we all work with our computers all the time, but it's not a good idea to shut down your computer at 10 p.m. and be in bed like 10 minutes later and hope that your brain will just shut down and you'll be able to go to sleep. It doesn't work like that. You have to allow yourself a little bit of time to kind of get your body ready for rest. And it's, everybody talks always about morning routine, and I think it's great to have morning routine, but what is your evening routine? And it's almost like your morning routine, it depends a lot on your evening routine, right? Because what you do in the evening impacts your morning as well. There are, of course, a couple of other things that impact our sleep that are more serious, more nuanced than just eat enough and give your body rest. Some people have some traumas from the past that are causing them terrible sleep. And again, that's me too. Some things that still need to be worked out. And occasionally, these are the things that keep me awake. And this is, again, we come back to this mindset work, this mindfulness work. And you have to admit to yourself that, the things that happened in the past, you have to work through them, not bottle them up, not to say, okay, I'm not going to deal with this because that's going to make me look weak. No, you got to do this hard work. Maybe you can work with somebody who is like a spiritual guide or spiritual teacher. Pick up yoga, pick up meditation, do some guided meditations. Find people who you can talk to. These things are very, very important. And I have seen great benefits from working with some people like that. Especially had a great experience in July when we were in Arizona. I worked with somebody, and even just after this one session, it was amazing. Like my sleep got so much better because she was able to work with this a little bit and give me kind of like peace of mind, and my nightmares have decreased a lot. I actually don't have them right now at all. So there can be some unhealed trauma also that you may have to pay attention to. And that's why spirituality is really, really important, because you can do all the other things right, put the right food in your body and rest. But if you have something that's holding you back from the past, and this has not been dealt with, then sleep may continue to be an issue. So make sure that you work on that. Of course, supplementation also can help. Ashwagandha can be helpful. One supplement that I have been using for quite some time, I think 3-4 months now, is the Cortisol Manager by Integrative Therapeutics. Of course, I'm not a doctor. I can't recommend anything, but I'm just mentioning what has worked for me. And I can actually link to it in the show notes too, so you can look it up. But for me, it has been really, really great. I've also noticed that keeping my vitamin B high by taking supplementation, keeping, of course, magnesium every night. And then I'm also using Organifi Gold tea, which also has ashwagandha in it. So there are a lot of things that you can do to make sure that you're sleeping better. So take care of that, because if you sleep better, everything in your life will be better. So this was the first tip. 2 more steps if you want to see your body getting stronger, getting fitter, getting leaner, and you feeling better, more confident, and healthier. The second tip, extremely, extremely important, is strength training. I know you're not surprised, right, that I say that, but it is very, very highly important. And I gotta say, you have to be able to lift heavy weights. So just today, somebody asked me, okay, you say heavy weights, so is it enough if I buy 10 kilogram weights and work out with those? And it's so relative. Without knowing you, I cannot tell you what weight is good for you, but I can give you good tips. So the tip is, whatever exercise you do, whatever the rep range you do, let's say you do something between 5 to 15, which is the most, where you really gain strength. And there are different rep variations, of course, but this is like the most standard. You do 5 or 8 or 10 or 12 or 15, something like that. Whatever you do, the last 2 reps should be really hard. And the very last one should be like, oh, yes, okay, I was able to do it, but probably couldn't do 2 more. So this is how you know that this weight is enough for you. So now if you have 10-pound or 10 kilogram weights, then of course it's going to be different from shorter presses and for deadlifts. So that's why it's good to have different weights. And like I said, remember, a couple of last reps should feel really, really hard. This is how you create this response in your muscle that makes it grow, makes it adapt to this new load, to grow and get stronger. And as a result, you're going to look leaner. So strength training must be your priority if you want to see this positive change in your body. If you want to put on more lean body mass, this is amazing. And I think we all should do that as much as we can, because as we age, we start losing lean body mass and we have to build it as much as we can. And personally, I wish I had started serious strength training way earlier than I did. And I wish I didn't spend 6-7 years of my life only running, because it wasn't really helpful for me, and it didn't give me that lean body mass. It didn't grow my muscle mass. It just didn't do that. And muscle is extremely valuable tissue. You want to have as much of it on your body as possible. So why is it important? So also, if you have a lot of muscle on your body, you can eat much more. Ladies, I never want you to go back to eating 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 calories. Please don't do it. This is just such a BS that you ever have to do it. You don't have to do it. If you gain a lot of lean muscle mass by doing a lot of strength training, you can eat much more and your body will not gain weight the way it did when you stopped running. I've seen it time after time, and I think I've shared it here too, that when you're able to give yourself so much more freedom and be more relaxed and flexible with your diet if you have enough muscle mass in your body, because your body doesn't go crazy when you skip a workout day or a week. Your body will still look the same. It's a little bit different with cardio. With cardio, your body adapts to cardio super quickly, which means that if you used to run an hour every day and saw a certain result in your body started looking leaner, then not too long after, you will have to increase that distance. You have to start running like an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes to create the same result. That's the problem with cardio. Your body adapts to it so easily, but it's different with strength training. You can vary your rep ranges, you can vary your sets, you can vary your exercises, and your body keeps responding to it because you're also creating much more flexible metabolism. So strength training is very, very critical if you want to put on lean body mass, which I really recommend that you do. And I'm going to say for me personally, so this spring when the quarantine started, I actually started doing much more strength training, and I started going a little bit heavier, and I started seeing a lot more change. Before that, I still I didn't pick up quite as heavy weights, and then now I was like, okay, I'm going to use all the weights that I can put on my adjustable dumbbells, and honestly, they're getting light now because I've been working with them for like months now, and I know it's time to add some weights to it. But heavy lifting makes a big difference, because if you still continue doing this, like, okay, I'm going to do 10 reps with like relatively lightweight, and then I do some burpees in between, yeah, you burn calories, but you don't build muscle, and you don't build this active tissue in your body that helps you to be metabolically flexible, that helps you to burn to burn fat even when you are resting. And that's a pretty awesome thing about strength training. And also, hormonally speaking, strength training is amazing because it can improve your insulin sensitivity. It's not as taxing generally. Of course, you can overtrain with strength training too, but because you're not doing these long hours of cardio, you are not taxing your body in the way you would if you were just running. And you also don't have all this cortisol output all the time that you had when you were only running. And of course, we already know that if we're able to manage our cortisol a little bit better, our body responds so much better and we get less hormonal issues. So girls, strength train, don't be afraid of it. Actually, I want to share one more thing. Somebody asked me on Instagram, but I've been a gymnast for many years and I want to actually lose muscle. What can I do? And honestly, I don't even want to give you this advice. Like, what can I do? I know what you can do, but I don't understand why you want to lose lean body mass, because this is not a healthy thing to do. Like, having lean body mass on your body is one of the best things that you can do. Of course, if you're healthy, right? Don't overtrain yourself. But keep your body healthy and increase your lean body mass. Don't try to get rid of it. let's just stop thinking that, oh, this is so manly, I shouldn't be too muscular. There's nothing bad in it, and it's very healthy. Okay, the last thing that is very important if you want to have a strong body, good looking body, fit body, feel confident, is increase your protein intake. And I've talked about that a lot too, but there is a good reason for it. So first of all, of course, your calories have to be high enough for you to be able to do all the things that you want to do, lift weights, work out, live your life. You have to have enough calories to keep your hormones healthy, your periods coming back every month. Very, very, very important, but especially protein. And of course, in recovery, a lot of times we focus on carbs, we focus on fats. We don't really think about protein too much, but it is super important to have high protein intake. And I have to say, I really, women don't realize how little protein they eat. And they say, yeah, I eat protein, I eat peanut butter. I'm like, peanut butter is not a dense source of protein. Absolutely not. Or they say, yeah, I eat beans. Yeah, cool, beans, but beans they have protein, but they also have really, really high carbohydrate content. So nothing really compares to animal products, meats, and then eggs and some dairy if you can do that. And fish, of course, as well, seafood, chicken. All these things are really, really great source of protein. I'm not against supplementing with protein powder. I do it myself too. But whatever it takes for you to get the protein in, because I gotta say, again, around the same time when I started lifting heavier this spring, I started doing the macro tracking, but I was pretty, I was not very, very consistent with it, certain times especially, but I always kept my protein high. So there are many times when we were on a road trip, or we get some takeout or drink some wine or whatever. My diet is by no means perfect. I do my best to keep it good quality. I do buy, grass-fed beef and meats and organic foods as much as I can. Most of the time, not everything, but as much as I can. I take care of my, make sure that I don't eat too much sugar, because as you know, for me personally, it does not really help me. It does not help my periods. It does cause me a lot of pain. So I try to keep that under control. But what I've been doing very consistently is eating very high protein. And when I say very high, it's about 0.8 to 1 grams per pound of body weight. This is my target, and this is what I'm doing. And I gotta say, I've seen a lot of changes since March, when I started lifting heavier, when I really started prioritizing my protein. And especially in the last 3 months, my sleep has been so much better. I think something has to do with, like I said, I worked with somebody in July that was really, really helpful, helped me to probably get rid of some old stuff that was kind of like, I don't want to say haunting me, but bothering me a little bit. And since then, like seriously, guys, I've seen a lot of muscle gains, and I feel good. My sleep is good, my period is coming, and I'm not doing anything crazy excessive. I think in the last 7 months, I have run maybe 3 or 4 times. I am not under eating. I eat very high protein. I lift weights. I sleep well, and all these things are actually allowing me to have this strong body right now that I have. And these changes actually start happening quickly if you just allow yourself this new thing that is different from what you used to do in the past. It's different from doing these crazy amounts of cardio all the time and starving yourself and thinking that, okay, like, should I say no to this food and no to this food and never going out and never enjoying your life? This life is struggle, and this life sucks, and I don't want you to experience that anymore. And that's why I created Rebuild too, because I know that so many women think that the only way to get healthy, the only way to go back to exercise, the only way to see a little bit of change in their body is to go back and start running hours and hours a day, cutting the calories low, and then start doing, maybe even twice a day, where you go to a boot camp at 5 a.m. and then run later in the afternoon. None of this is necessary. So if you stick with these 3 things that are also really a big part, and we go into so much more detail in the Rebuild program. If you do these three things, you are going to see amazing results, and you're going to feel so much better. So sleep a lot, sleep as much as you can, do some heavy strength training, and also eat a high protein diet, and your life is going to be so much easier. So this is my message for you today. Try it out. Tell me how it goes. Also, if you want to apply for Rebuild, do it now. I'm only taking 5 more women. Yes, last 5 spots. Grab them. Maybe one of them is yours. Let me know if you are interested in the program. fill out the application. The link is in the description of this show. Thanks so much for being here, and talk to you next time.